update for week 28 on the PCT. The whole week we were actually in Yosemite National Park. So beautiful, beautiful stretch of trail. And like I said in the previous video, we actually scored permits to go from the PCT into Yosemite Valley via the JMT, just so we wouldn't have to hitchhike, because during the pandemic we really were adamant about not hitchhiking, not staying with trail angels, and that sort of thing. So scored a permit. Actually, when we were in Mammoth Lakes, we got that permit. So hiked down to the valley, and so day 186, we didn't quite make it to the valley. So we hiked about 11 miles past Sunset Lakes, which were all very beautiful. A lot of people camping near there as well. Hiked up to the Clouds Rest, which for people who are afraid of heights, it was a little unnerving. At a certain point, you're kind of hiking on this area where there's like drops on either side. So I just tried to look at my feet and walk straight. So exhilarating hike up there though. Beautiful views of Half Dome and the valley. So I highly recommend, if you're able to do that, snagging a JMT permit to go into the park or the valley, because it was just gorgeous. Or on a separate trip. Going to Yosemite is great. I grew up going there, so every time I have a chance to get into the valley, I take it. And so once we went over Clouds Rest, took a ton of pictures, obviously, which I'll show you later on. Hiked down to Little Yosemite Valley, at beautiful views of Half Dome all the way down. There were pretty leisurely switchbacks that were exposed, and then the summer that makes it very, very hot. So this was still in July, but I would say earlier in the year it wouldn't be as hot, most likely. So we just happened to be there in the summer. But beautiful views, hiking down to Little Yosemite Valley. And once we got there, we realized how crazy crowded it was. So found a spot finally. There were so many people there hiking Half Dome. So a lot of people that got permits for that were either finished with their hike up Half Dome or getting ready to hike up the next day. So I think that's why it was so crowded there. But it was cool. We talked to some other campers and stuff and had a nice dinner. We went for a swim. There's a little river going through there that we went for a swim and had a nice time. So good day there. Day 187, hiked about 5 miles into the valley, and we stopped along Nevada Falls, which is gorgeous, and we lingered there for a long time just because it's so beautiful. We had some snacks and that sort of thing, and we got service there too, so I was texting my family and everything. So I hiked down to the valley, and the Yosemite Valley wasn't too crowded for the time. Usually it's crazy in the summertime, but because of COVID, they were limiting the amount of people coming in. So if you had a permit, you could go in, or a reservation, you could go into the park. So it was kind of cool seeing it in the summer without a ton of people. But I still think they were at capacity with, COVID capacity, I guess you could say, because there were still people around. But got into backpackers camp, and for PCT hikers, you can stay in the backpackers camp for one night, and sometimes, depending on who's there, they might give you another night. But we just got one night because nobody was stationed there. So we knew we had to figure out how we were going to get out of Yosemite Valley, and there was a Yarts bus that was running. So we had service, so we needed to figure out that whole situation. And we wanted to see if we could get some sort of lodging in the park, just because we only had one night at the backpackers camp. So we walked 10 miles through the valley to figure all this stuff out, because the buses that go around the valley normally were not working because of COVID. So it was walk only. So we ended up walking 10 miles. We added 10 miles to our day to kind of figure out logistics. But we got that all figured out, luckily. So yeah, went back to camp, set up, and we had never done this before, which I'm surprised, but in true hiker trash fashion, we rinsed our clothes out in our bear canisters, because I don't think there were shower services available, even at camp. So we were just well, I guess we're gonna wait until tomorrow when we stay in the lodge to take a shower, but we ended up just rinsing our clothes in our bear canisters. So leave a comment below if you guys have done that before, because I can't believe I had waited so long. Over 180 days and I hadn't done that yet. So I then felt like a true dirtbag. So yeah, it was a great day coming into Yosemite, which is one of my favorite places on earth. Yikes.
This view is like, they'd rope everybody up. It's unbelievable. It'd have to be.
An hour. Day 188, we ended up taking a 0 in Yosemite Valley because we were able to figure out logistics for the bus the next day. So we ended up scoring a stay at the lodge for one night. So we took our showers and everything. Of course, ate a ton of food, which only outdoor seating during the pandemic. So that was fine with us. We belong outside anyway. And it was really hot. It was, I think, 100 degrees in the valley. So we ended up swimming in the Merced for a while, which was awesome. And at night, we decided we wanted to play, we just made this up, but hiker poker. So whoever won each match or each game was able to get some sort of chore from the other two people. So I ended up doing awful. I only won one thing, which is actually a pretty good one. I won a foot massage from Calzone on trail, so that was a pretty good one. But I owed everybody. I owed Steve, I owed Calzone. I think I owed water, a water carry, a food carry. What else did I owe everybody? So many things. So I totally lost. Yeah, anyway, so it was kind of a fun game though. So if you're a hiker, it's kind of fun to set your own terms for poker if you have a chance in town. And then we also ventured out at night. Calzone is really into photography, and so she wanted to try a couple things at night. So we took some cool, like, weird night photos. So I'll show you guys some of those with like the El Capitan in the background and everything. So that was pretty fun. And the next day, we caught the bus to Tuolumne. Unfortunately, we arrived in Tuolumne by bus at 6 p.m. So hung out in the valley most of the day waiting for the bus. But then arrived in Tuolumne, which I love that area of Yosemite. And I had been wanting to go back for a very long time. I don't think I'd really been to Tuolumne since I was like 10 years old. So it was really cool being back in that area. So arrived there, we hiked 6 miles, beautiful meadow views, and we passed right off of the road. There's this place called Soda Springs, and if you collect the water, I think it's like a little hot spring type thing, but if you collect the water and filter it, it's fizzy apparently. And so Calzone attempted to do this, and she said it was true, and she like put some of her grape, she has like, what's it called? Mio grape electrolyte mix or whatever to put in it. It's a liquid form. And she said it tasted like grape soda. So if you're a hiker passing by that area, maybe try it. I was too scared to try that, but she said it tasted good. So past that area, had some cool moments with Calzone and Steve. It was like sunset, so we stopped to watch the sunset for a little bit and played some music. And then we descended to Tuolumne Falls, which was cool. We didn't totally get to see it in its full glory because it was getting kind of dark, but it was neat to see. I need to go back there in daylight to see the full effect, I think, but it was cool. And I forgot where we ended up camping, but was setting up my tent. I packed out a sandwich, so I was really excited about that. But then I realized I left my Vargo titanium pot, which I love, my cooking pot, in the bus. So I was really bummed about that because I brought quite a bit of food that I was going to cook. So I didn't even have a receptacle to put anything to even cold soak. So I ended up mooching some used bags off of Calzone and Steve the rest of that stretch. But it was kind of a bummer. I had to like figure things out with my food because I lost the bot, unfortunately. So that was kind of a bummer, but kept going forward and I figured it out. Luckily, I had some friends hiking with me who let me use some of their stuff. No. This is good.
Okay.
Okay, we gotta see what kind of water Calzone's gonna drink.
I'm gonna try a
Here it is. Calzone is drinking this. So we're gonna see how it goes.
She's out of her dang mind.
The filter doesn't take the bubbles out.
Bubbling water from Soda Springs in Tuolumne. And wait, what do you think about this, Steve?
I think she's out of her dang mind. She is loco.
Loco.
Estás loco.
There were Gut Hugs comments about this spring. It
Estás
said somebody mixed it with
locando.
like a spritzer or something. With like juice.
You are crazy.
I'm trying it. I'm filtering a little bit. Okay, that's enough.
All right, here we are.
Okay,
Here's the verdict.
so I took a little bit of carbonated water from the spring, mixed it with this Arctic Grape Mio Sport, shook it up really good, and boom, it is pretty amazing grape soda. It's, I mean,
Yes.
it tastes a little bit homemade, not gonna lie, but it's pretty legit for nice cold grape soda on the trail. So
Love it.
You heard it here, folks.
Day 190 was a little bit uneventful, but we basically set ourselves up for Benson Pass and passed what lake? Oh, Miller Lake, which was really beautiful. I didn't end up going in just because I think I had a little bit of altitude sickness, so I just decided to eat and not swim, but Miller Lake was very beautiful. So yeah, steep climbs that day. Like I said, set ourselves up for Benson Pass. Day 192. Went over Benson Pass and CV Pass. So 2 passes in one day. Both are pretty steep. But we were feeling pretty good. We did 14.5 miles total for the day. And the previous day as well, we did 14.5 miles. So pretty consistent. And I'm trying to remember, we stopped by a lake called Smedberg Lake, which was awesome. I want to go back there and camp, maybe a weekend backpacking trip or something, because it was really beautiful. There were some people swimming, and we stopped there for a little while. But again, I didn't go swimming. And then Benson Lake, which was more on the descent that day. I didn't go swimming there either, but we stopped there for lunch and it was gorgeous. So that's another place I would love to go back to someday. So all in all, that was a beautiful day. We also saw a llama train, which is so cool. They pulled over for us because they thought we were horses. Otherwise, I don't think they would have pulled over. I guess llamas and horses don't get along, and I didn't know that. So learn something new every day, right? And then the next day, day 193, we set ourselves up to go over Dorothy Pass, which was then going over Dorothy Pass is kind of the end of Yosemite National Park area. So a little bittersweet, but there were some beautiful views. There was this meadow we went through that it was just sweeping views of all of the mountains and the clouds, the cumulonimbus clouds looked amazing. So I took a lot of videos there, which I'll show you in a little bit. And we did see a little baby black bear, which was cute, but it was also concerning because we didn't know where the mom was. So we just kept going and made sure we were singing and everything just to like scare them away a little bit. But all in all, beautiful day. And we camped right by Dorothy Lake. So there's Dorothy Lake and then there's the pass right after that. So we set ourselves up pretty good for the next day. And Dorothy Lake is gorgeous as well. This whole stretch was just beautiful. I want to go back and do it all again. So highly recommend camping near Dorothy Lake. So yeah, all in all, a great week going through Yosemite National Park.